So welcome to another episode of 9 to 5 Nerds with Corey and Robert. I'm Robert Swathwood. Hello. This is Corey Urkel.
Hi, how to do?
And our guest today is Ben Hetzel.
How's it going?
Today's episode is going to be primarily about The Walking Dead. The last few episodes. Why are you putting on sunglasses?
It's bright in here, Bobby.
You know who wears sunglasses inside, right? Blind people and assholes.
Yeah. I think you stole that from somewhere.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
We go off on tangents.
I get it.
Don't be so obtuse.
Anyways, it'll be about the season finale of The Walking Dead, as well as maybe, roll a couple of the last few episodes in. You've watched it most recently, Ben.
Yeah.
And I want to throw some Daredevil in there because it's been 3 weeks since it came out. 2 or 3 weeks?
Especially some Punisher in there, too. You gotta talk about that.
Yes. John Bernthal was excellent as the Punisher. But we'll get to that. I think we'll start off with Walking Dead. I actually wrote notes while I was watching the season finale.
Fantastic.
Usually I don't do that. We couldn't do that when we watched Batman vs. Superman. So, some of the stuff gets kind of hazy.
Probably for multiple reasons you couldn't take some notes during that movie.
Yeah.
I took a video. But
of the whole movie.
Yeah, I thought that might help me remember some of it.
We watched it again and again.
I posted it online for other people could remember it with me.
Don't steal movies.
Hashtag.
Yeah, hashtag don't steal movies. Hashtag drive-by. But yeah, we'll start off with Corey. What did you think of the season finale of The Walking Dead?
But I didn't take notes. Okay. In a nutshell?
Yeah, you hated it.
Disappointing.
Really?
Well, they build up to one moment throughout the whole episode. You know it's coming. Everybody knows it's coming. They tease it. Basically, it's been a season build up to one moment. And they didn't fucking show it.
Perspective of a comic book reader, though, right? You read the comics? Or you've heard of the comics?
I think everybody knows. Anybody watches the show, heard of Negan, they immediately Google it, like, okay, now I know who Negan is.
Well, yeah, and I felt the need to Google Jesus right when I saw him, because I think he's the greatest thing that's ever happened in the show.
He's excellent.
And I actually didn't
Jesus.
Google Jesus because...
I've read the books for years, and as soon as I saw it, even though he looked like Jesus, it still went to Jesus in my brain. But Corey makes fun of me about it. But go ahead.
And he was just spectacular all season. He didn't have one scene where he wasn't drawing everyone's attention.
He's a scene stealer, but he didn't have enough scenes.
He didn't have one scene in the last 4 episodes.
I'm wondering if next season he'll be a series regular.
I hope so.
Yeah, because he was good, and I thought his beard was fake, and it's not. It's just very nicely trimmed.
Did they ever go back to that town after they massacred people?
They tried to.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I guess.
And that goes back to the season... Well, is it mid-season break, or is it the season finale?
Which one?
What
we just watched?
Yeah.
That was the season finale. Yeah. It's not on again until October.
Gotcha.
So now we have to wonder...
What a horrible clip.
Which I actually think is a good thing, because if he would have bashed someone's fucking head in... I don't know if I can curse on your podcast.
Yes, it's listed as explicit on iTunes.
But if he would have bashed the dude's head in, or whoever's head he bashed in, which I think is Eugene, I'm saying that right now, it's got to be.
I think Eugene would be a cop-out, because he was already written off for dead.
But then everyone would be like, I can't believe they killed this person. They're a piece of shit. I'm not watching this show anymore. And, everyone would be complaining. This way they do it, it keeps the buzz without, killing a favorite character. Walking Dead is really good at having a multitude of favorite characters for different people.
Yeah. And with this, it's going to drive up the numbers for the season premiere. It's already a very popular show, but the season premiere, everybody's going to be like, who died? I need to know.
If they don't kill off a main named character, it'd be a cop-out.
That's all that's sitting there, though, are main characters.
No,
but
there's one guy, I don't even know his name, Rosita. Eugene is basically as good as dead. If Eugene died...
Who do you not know? The guy from...
The guy that's like the gay dude that his husband
Aaron?
or whatever died. Yeah, Aaron.
Yeah, I guess.
You don't know Aaron?
No. If they killed Aaron...
He's not a scene... he's not
that
like
would be such a cop-out.
But he's had stories that are... There was the story of just him and Maggie. So, he has had screen time. It's not like Dr. Dre. You see... The guy with the dreads was Dr. Dre and Straight Outta Compton walking around the back, who's good in the book, but... hasn't really had very many scenes in the show.
I expect if Negan's going to be super important, that somebody from the first 2 or 3 seasons, one of those people has been around for half the show.
I agree with you.
Would have to be killed off for him to make any sort of impressive entrance.
Yeah.
I think that they did this whole thing. They built it up. It could be anyone. It could be anyone. Steering it away from the comic of where he kills, spoiler if you don't read the books, Glenn. And they did this whole thing, this whole season, to say, hey, it could be this person, it could be this person, setting up Eugene saying goodbye and all this. And then
especially with the music, also playing that, oh, you're heroic, and they play this like heroic music, and they really give Eugene the spotlight multiple times in the last 2 episodes, especially, to where he's like, I can handle this now. I can save people. I can do all this stuff. Then they play that music, which is almost, are we going to do it? Are we not going to do it?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think it's going to be Glenn.
Yeah.
I think they played it off so much that it could be anybody, that it's going to go right back to it being Glenn.
You think they foreshadowed it with him
the mirror
outside of Alexandria, and he gets into that scuffle, and the guy has the bat, and you think that he's going to kill Glenn with the bat in that scene.
They tease you.
Yeah.
They also had that scene where Glenn's driving away and he's looking in the mirror, the side mirror, and it was just that kind of like, these guys, how many more goodbyes do they have left? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's Maggie.
Do you?
Either that or she's going to have a miscarriage.
Maggie,
one or the other, they're not going to have a baby.
I don't think they're going to have a baby either. And Maggie was my call before I saw the season finale. I was like, the biggest brutal thing that they could do in the show is kill a pregnant woman.
Yep.
And it would have been the biggest hit. But now at this point,
either
I think
it's going to be her and she loses the baby, or Glenn dies and she loses the baby.
It's not going to be Glenn dies and... Did you see the
No, yeah, it was
Glenn
dies, miscarriage, or
Glenn dies, Negan gets with Maggie, and they raise
and
Bruce
they
Wayne.
Batman kid.
No, I don't like that.
That's a pretty good one, too. It made me laugh.
The episode was an hour and a half.
It was
an hour and 4 minutes, but with commercials and stuff, it does go to an hour.
Okay, well, so hour and 4 minutes. It was 44 minutes, 48 minutes of them just driving around, hitting roadblocks.
I actually appreciate that.
I liked that part.
It shows the gravity of how much these people control that area.
Apparently, they really control that Maggie needed medical attention. Otherwise, they would have been standing on the road for no reason, because they had no idea Maggie was going to go into...
That she's sick.
That she was sick. Like, they had to take Maggie to this town.
Yeah.
And they had all these roadblocks set up. Unless they're going to stay there day and night.
They've been scouting. The thing that they show, though, throughout the whole last 3 episodes is that they've been scouting Alexandria. They know that there's people there. They know who the people are there.
When Carol ran into those guys on the road, they said exactly where she was staying. So that's...
We know you just left from Alexandria.
Unless those people are going to go fetch the Alexandrians and then bring them back to every single roadblock. Like, what was...
Well, they also have communication. When they run into that group with the walkie-talkies, you know that they have set channels that they're communicating for, and they have this complicated network set up so that they can communicate over long distance without having people.
It's like a 100-to-1 ratio men to women, and they're not fighting over that. There's no... you're going to have a group like Rick's that's 15 people, and there's so much internal beef that it makes a show around it. So you can imagine there's 150 guys and 4 women, and these people all have the best military precision and coordination, and Rick couldn't do that with 15 people. He couldn't get a handful of people in line. The Negan guy can get a whole army of people to...
But I think from Rick's point of view, he's not trying to take control. He's not trying to control everyone's aspect of every point of everything that they're doing, and he's not holding people hostage, which is what Negan's doing. If you don't give me this, if you don't do this for me, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And you would think
it's a bigger threat from Negan than it is from Rick.
Mm-hmm. Every single person Negan has under him is an asshole, and if they were all like normal people, one of them at one point in time would have put a bullet in his head while he's sleeping.
I think some of them are normal people and are being forced into that kind of life.
And what happens in the season finale?
The only ones that seem normal are the ones that Carol had to kill, which is ironic because she didn't want to kill anybody. But all the assholes on the motorcycles, in the base, they slaughtered everybody. On the roadside, in the pickup trucks, shooting crossbows in doctors' eyes, all those people seem like grade A assholes.
But
at the base,
Dwight shot the guy or shot what's her face in the
the
eye.
doctor.
But when you saw Dwight with the chick earlier with Daryl, he wasn't that way.
He also said he was aiming for Daryl.
Yeah, well, I'm saying even before that, when Daryl was with him,
he missed by a mile, or he was just fucking lying.
He was fucking with him.
But they were really close, like during the exchange that they have, where they're talking, and Daryl's like right up in her face, like, "Why would you do all this stuff?" And she's like trying to explain. They're pretty close in proximity.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he could have easily been aiming for her. It's just the camera angle kind of makes it seem that.
Okay, so he's not an asshole then, because he's aiming for Daryl.
Well.
But that was a pretty good shot then.
The people at they're holding Maggie and Carol hostage though, at the one of the compounds that they go to.
The redheaded girl.
I don't really think they mistreated Maggie or Carol.
Those were the only people that were any good, which made it more of a pain for Carol to
kill them,
do what she did. Which, if they had been assholes like anybody else in that gang or group, whatever you call them,
because she even stopped the guy from beating on Carol.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Carol, run, get out of here, come on. And I don't want to kill you.
Which I really hate what they did to Carol's character this season.
Yeah,
they build her up like she's such a badass and she kills all these people and no emotion and she cares about her family. And then in this season, she kind of deteriorates into this character who is like going back to what she was previously, where she hates killing. And it's not worth living with her family if she's going to have to kill, so she'd rather just go out on her own. And it kind of ruins the character for me, and I don't think that she's...
I actually wrote that down in my notes, that the whole Carol Morgan plotline in the finale, even going before that, it just didn't pan out. It didn't work. They used it basically to get to those two guys at the end, who are going to...
But
take them to
Carol left. Well, let's go chase her. Let's send 4 people out to chase her. Let's get Carol back.
Before we get too far away from what we were talking about, when you were saying that there's no good people in this group, what if the people who they ran into, who Morgan runs into, what if they're part of that group? Like, they work for Negan.
They look like,
but they're not.
I figure they're another settlement altogether.
Because they have the spear.
The theory is. Do you read the books?
I don't.
And you read 50 issues, 60 issues?
Yeah, not enough.
The thought process is, and this is comic spoilers, if anybody's listening, even though it's 6 years ago, basically, 5 or 6 years ago in the book, is that the third camp, which is called the Kingdom, is where those two guys are from. And that's the theory out there right now, because those two guys are dressed completely different than anybody you've seen. They did have spears, but they also had like padding, almost like armor that they built. So the theory is that they are going to the Kingdom, and the Kingdom has a different leader. He's not Negan, he's not the dick at Hilltop. That guy's a piece of shit. He's a creep.
Yeah.
He's different. But I wanted to say, when Daryl first met Dwight and the 2 girls that he's with, Dwight wasn't as big of a piece of shit then
as he is now. And where's the girl and what's happening to her to make him maybe... Do you get what I'm saying? Oh, he has her, I need to do this, or he's going to do something to her.
Put that guy down in his sleep, if that's...
Also, did his face get burned in the exchange? Or
comic book stuff?
Comic book stuff.
Gotcha.
Comic book stuff. And it'll probably, since they burn his face, play out that way.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that alone. But one cool scene I really liked in the finale, and it was full circle. It echoed from the very first episode. Morgan riding on that horse. I know it's a simple scene, but
cool.
Him riding on the horse just down the street with nothing going on kind of reminded me of Rick in the very first episode, and I actually really like that.
Actually, they probably did that on purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
To show how his standpoint is right now.
Exactly, because they're kind of reversed at this point, where Rick's a cold-blooded killer.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, Rick wasn't. And
I didn't really like... they did kind of a religious undertone with the rosary beads, and you kind of think at first, Carol doesn't really care about religion. She's just using it to get an advantage in how she's perceiving herself to be. But then later on, she holds on to him, and you kind of think that she does start to care about it.
I thought she was doing a psych out at first.
And
she
then
put on an act. I was like, that's so awesome. And then it's like, oh, she's done acting.
And then the way that they shoot her, or when she gets shot in the wrists and then in the legs, semblance to being nailed to a cross.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought that's pretty big for them to do that, and that's pretty crazy for them to do that. And her whole like turn of character where she doesn't want to kill anyone anymore, all that really tied together to make me throw up in my mouth a little bit.
Yeah, I other than them finding the guys from I think the Kingdom, which really random thing and it doesn't matter. The guy that shook Morgan's hand, he follows me on Twitter. Huh. Just kind of a
thank God.
Just a random.
We need more of those.
Yeah, Twitter at Sly Comics. Follow.
Did they all learn how to do that Negan whistle?
The Hunger Games whistle?
Yeah. What the hell? Can a human do that? What the fuck is that?
A little ridiculous.
I thought it was a musical cue in the show. And I was like, oh, they heard that?
And then they panned all their faces and they have like this scrunched up whistly face.
Yeah.
And you're like, are you for real right now? This is.
They had the real audio. It'd be horrible.
Megaphones.
I like that each way they went had more guys. Like
definitely,
you probably could have taken out the guys at the first stop, not knowing that the second stop was going to be twice as many.
I don't understand the show logic that they have to do this, go different ways just to see the impact. But in Rick's mind, why the hell? I don't know why they chose one vehicle anyway. Why didn't they back up and then like, okay, let's go murder these guys? We murdered fucking like 48 guys in their sleep. Here's like 6 guys ahead of us. We all have assault rifles. Let's flank around. Like I don't understand why they went around. Like had such a weird exchange.
They tried to do it at the end and then it didn't work.
The best part of the whole finale, besides Negan, I mean we'll get to that, is Rick going from alpha dog to low man on the totem pole and seeing his face.
His acting was better than anybody
He was
else.
the best. I mean, maybe Jeffrey Dean Morgan is Negan, but his face was just like, oh shit,
shell shock.
It's over.
Yeah, panic.
That whole last scene, nothing wrong with that whole last scene except that they didn't end it.
Show. Have you seen the audio clips going around?
No. About whose voice is in the background?
Yeah, that you can hear Maggie screaming Glenn. I don't know how real it is. I
don't think
they would do that.
Yeah, and I mean, you can definitely hear what sounds like Maggie's voice. And you can hear like a couple of other key characters, but you don't. It's still like it could be Abraham, it could be it could be anyone.
Let's before we go on to Negan, because I do want to spend a bit of time talking about him. Who do we know that it's not? It's not Rick. It's not going to be Carl.
I definitely don't think so.
It's not going to be those two, because in the book there's actually it's a very weird relationship between Carl and Negan. They almost get each other.
Gotcha.
And
with Negan's line at the very end, you don't want me to have to carve out this future serial killer's eye and feed it to his dad.
Yeah.
So you really don't think it's going to be either one of them.
So it's not going to be those two. I
Daryl,
really don't think it's going to be Daryl.
No.
They're not going to. First of all, they don't want to write him off the show. They want people to think that he might have been.
Yeah.
But
plus, he's already shot.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think Negan would kill an injured person.
Yeah, he wants to make it count.
I don't think it's going to be Maggie.
That's
because
it's a fair point. But either way, she's losing that baby.
And it's not going to be Rosita because it wouldn't pack enough punch.
Yeah.
And I really don't think it's going to be Abraham because he's willing to die. And he kind of stepped up, and I don't think.
What's the black girl?
Michonne?
No, it's not going to be Michonne or.
If it's the other one, that'd be a big one.
Oh,
Tyrese's sister.
I would accept that.
Yeah, that Abraham's.
Because then Abraham would lose his shit.
Yeah. What's her name? I am terrible right now.
Don't know.
Why don't I know her? I wish I could. I wish it would come to me before.
So you're gonna cut yourself saying, "Oh, I remember it now."
They don't really say her name that much because she's not super popular. Her name doesn't get spoken.
What?
Even Abraham hasn't said her name really.
What horrible Abraham quote did he have in this one?
Oh my god! If he talks any more about shit,
you don't like that? I always thought it was kind of cool.
It's cool, but it's like.
Did you see him in? Okay, the guy that plays Eugene. I can't think of his name right now, but he talks. Josh McDermott. He talks so funny on the show. In real life, he talks nothing like that. He's putting on a complete voice.
Yeah.
But he says what they do is they have two die, and he was joking, and they roll one and it'll say dick, and they'll roll the other one and it'll say something else.
Oh my god! Like, I have to go
funny.
on a tangent about that dick bite. It was ridiculous.
What are you talking about? It happened straight out of the comic. Sasha, her name's Sasha.
Yeah,
that's
Sasha,
something you should have meant from the comic. And that guy.
So about the dick bite?
And he made it out alive.
Yeah, and I mean, like, First of all, anyone that can bite through jeans is a monster. Like, how do you even
I never even thought of that.
That guy was packing.
If he had like sweatpants on,
But even with the jeans, it's gonna pinch your dick.
yeah. But I mean,
This is what we.
I don't know, man. You can't get your mouth around that big like zipper part and bite through that. That's not happening.
We don't know what the guy was packing. It could have been
anyway.
the side. All we know is Eugene had a firm grip on it.
Does he go back and get stitches on his?
He saves the day with the dick bite.
Yeah, he really did.
He should have done that with the goddamn comedian.
Yeah.
Negan.
So.
But I mean, any dude that gets bit on the dong is gonna be down for the count for at least a couple minutes, no matter how much damage it does. I don't think he needed stitches.
He came back and he
but
shot
I definitely
Darrow.
think it's gonna hurt to pee for a while.
So, even before the show aired, Jeffrey Dean Morgan was a pretty good cast. He's a fairly well-known actor.
Yeah.
From like all 5 movies.
From all 5 movies, and he fucking killed it. I mean, in the book he drops motherfucker and fucker like nonstop, and I've heard in the Blu-ray version, video version, whatever, it was filmed 2 different ways, so you're gonna have all the F-bombs, which is kind of cool. But that whole speech. And I heard that he was saying on Talking Dead that that scene took 15 hours.
Yeah.
And all the actors were on their knees the whole time, acting, even when they weren't on screen, which is pretty cool. But that speech, he killed it. I mean, he was really good.
You know who's better?
Who?
Trevor Phillips. You know who Trevor Phillips is?
No.
Is this the guy you're talking about from?
Yeah, GTA 5. You played it?
No, I haven't.
Oh well. You know the guy who's at the roadblock, the first one and the last one?
The guy that's kind of bald.
That guy was like the voice and face and motion capture model for the third playable character in Grand Theft Auto 5, the crazy psychopath.
All right.
And it looks like if you played the game at all, you're like, that's Trevor Phillips. You can like Google it if you want, but he was awesome.
He looks like a guy from his face does look really familiar.
What's the guy's name from Hateful Eight? And he was in Django Unchained.
That guy.
If that guy,
old man.
No, the guy
from
that
Justified. Gets shot in the dick.
Walter Goggins. Walter Goggins.
If that guy had sex with the Captain Lance from Arrow,
yeah,
that's what their kid would look like. Although he's older than both of them.
Yeah,
yeah.
But anyway,
Negan.
We were trying to say who definitely wasn't getting their head bashed.
Yeah. So I think it's
Sasha.
It could be Sasha.
Yeah.
I would like that.
It could be Sasha.
I would like that.
Racist. It could be Sasha. It could be Michonne. Every one of Rick's people.
Yeah. I would like that.
Died.
Love interest. Yeah.
Could be Michonne. Could be Sasha. Could be.
And that way they don't have to do any more awkward bang.
Eating the same apple.
Yeah.
That bothered me. I've never taken a bite of the same apple
really?
of anybody else.
Oh, just you wait.
You gonna bite my apple, Corey?
Okay, not what's the thing.
I think it's gonna be Glenn. You think it's gonna be Eugene?
I think it definitely is gonna be Eugene.
If Eugene wouldn't have given the bullet plans, then I would have said for sure it's not gonna be Eugene. But I could see him being on the list of people since he did give the how to make bullets.
They basically wrote him out of the show because he gave away everything that was his character.
And they didn't in the last scene. They don't really pan to him very much. He's kind of off by himself. He doesn't really make any moans or does any thing to make him stand out, which I think is another big visual cue that.
I was trying to figure out whose face they not show the last face they show. It's not gonna be them because that would give it away. So
Abraham took an arrow to the eye in the book.
Dang.
And it was him and Eugene walking down an alley. When I saw him walking down that alley towards the bullet place, I was like, oh shit, he's about to get laid out. And he didn't. I mean, it would make sense to kill him off too because they really don't follow anything in the book. Because Carol died a long time ago and Andrea is still around.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
I had to think about what her name was because I always say Andrea.
Yeah, man, she was a piece of shit in the show.
God, she's so good in the.
That was such a good death. Like I wanted her to die so much. I mean, she died horrible, stupid. She was an idiot.
Wait till the last 2 seconds when a guy's actually turning before you struggle to get out.
But I was so glad she bit. I was like, oh yes, finally.
Yeah.
Free at last.
But overall, this season was pretty good. I really liked. Lots of the characters get their scene.
Yeah.
Carl wasn't very active, although he did get shot in the eye. So
That girl's still locked in the closet.
Yeah. She's gonna be there she's there till October.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And they said the promos for next season are gonna do a lot of flashbacks, so you're not gonna know from the previews what's going on.
Yeah.
But the Wolves thing really didn't pan out very well. That storyline kind of, and they were drawing it out for so long. Like, who are these wolves? And it didn't really.
And they didn't really
do anything.
Finish it up. They didn't wrap it up very well.
The best part was them massacring people and realizing that's what they are. Like, in half of them, like, ponying up, like, okay, we're fucking fighters. That's our skill. That was the best part of the season, I thought.
I also guess, to comment on the Wolves, that when they go to attack Rick, and Rick just murders the rest of the remaining wolves, maybe that was the way of wrapping it up.
Maybe that was it. He killed them all.
Rick just fucking shoots 8 of them and then gets away.
It's as much closure as you can get.
Yeah.
It's tough for me being a Rick fan to see him lose his shit, even though I knew it was coming. You know, he goes from, you know, maybe it's your last day on Earth to I'm gonna fucking die. Yeah. And I mean, he gets that back. You know, he gets that he's not going anywhere, so you know he has to get that confidence back. But it's not gonna be like him come back next season. He's gonna be badass again. It's gonna take some time.
He has to be docile.
Yeah.
But about that writing, it's your last day on Earth. No, it's your last day on Earth.
No, it's your last day on Earth.
And then,
they do a lot of things well, but they stumble a little bit here and there. I'm all in on the show. I'm never going to stop watching.
The small talk is hard to write, though, to make it seem legit.
Not in Better Call Saul.
And I don't like when people are like, there needs to be more zombies. I like character development. I like one of the best scenes in the entire show is Rick in the bar when he went to get Herschel. And he's talking to those two guys, and it's like season 2.
Tense.
It's so tense.
Is a great scene.
I like that Rick. I like that scene.
Yeah, that was good.
It's probably one of my favorite scenes from the whole series.
Yeah, exactly. And to remember it 4 seasons later, 4.5 seasons later.
If the show doesn't eventually steer more and more away from zombies, it would be disappointing because they
become less and less of a threat.
They should have decomposing, but there always will be zombies because when people die, they turn into them. So they're never going to go away, but they shouldn't be the main antagonist.
What sucks is when somebody has a heart attack in their sleep and you don't know, and then
and then it can spread. That's why.
But I mean, when you're max level with all your gear, and you know your character's a badass, zombies.
Anything less than a horde.
Would you guys be interested to know what the primary enemy is now in the book?
Yeah, sure.
Aliens.
No, aliens have finally come. They're called the Whisperers. Yeah. And they didn't even know they exist. I think Jesus was the one that found them too. They were down the road. Mm-hmm. When herds show up, because they're just thousands of zombies. Yeah. They use horses to steer them away from settlement.
Gotcha.
And at one point, the zombies start attacking Jesus and a couple of his people, and they're stabbing him. And what it is people have taken the zombie skin and they've put it on
and dressed up as
and
zombies.
They completely dress up with Leatherface, and they're basically integrated with herds of zombies. They have no idea how many of them there are.
That's what people originally thought the W was for the wolves.
Whisperers
was the Whispers, and everyone was speculating that these W's was the Whispers, and I didn't really look into it too much, but that explains a lot.
And the story's still going. I'm surprised it's been, even after 156 issues, there's still shit where I'm like, holy crap, that just happened. Yeah. And I don't know how they do that. I'm assuming that eventually he's going to kill Rick. I mean...
That would be a nice end.
Who is?
Kirkman. Yeah. The guy that writes it. I'm assuming eventually he'll kill him off. But
I mean, he should. But then it's like, who takes over?
Yeah, who's primary?
Yeah, and if Carl is primary, then that's kind of it changes the whole structure.
Yeah. In the book, Rick lost his hand from the governor.
Yes.
So he's got a goddamn hook for a hand. His elbow, his arm was broken at one point. He's like on a cane.
Yeah.
He's got a fucking knee brace.
He's all messed up.
Yeah, he's all broken. But I can't wait for October. I mean, I can, but it's...
Yeah, I got to protest.
What? I don't care. No. And
they made you wait for that long?
On The Talking Dead, I liked that, and it's only if they can pull it off, but the showrunner said, this is the end of this story. He's like, this story arc ended with this specific person's death, and the next story is everybody coping with that and trying to move forward. I'm like, and he's like, we have such a good opening plan for you guys that it will justify everything that happened. If it does, if the season premiere next it just blows the doors off, then I won't care.
It'll be fine.
You know what I hate about that kind of stuff? Because they haven't filmed it yet, so they don't exactly know how mind-blowing it's going to be. This is like a Walking Dead thing. Every season, and I'm not mad at did I say Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Game of Thrones thing. But every season, they have to reiterate that some character storyline is going to be the best you've ever seen. Mostly like, at season 4, or like when season Joffrey got killed. Sansa's story in this one just goes off the hook. Mm-hmm. This will be Sansa like you've never seen before, and then at the end you're like, okay, she had like one good episode when she lied to some the people for Littlefinger pushing the lady.
Then she spends the rest of the
next one like
raped.
And then like the promo for next season is like Sansa Stark's gonna be someone you've never seen before.
She might have the worst luck out of anybody.
Her storyline is gonna be so good now. She goes,
I don't think they do kind of bait it with the whole like the world has changed and. They have Tyrion saying a couple lines, and they give a big like pan to Sansa or a cut to Sansa, but I really don't think that she's gonna be like super mega strong, Brienne of Tarth woman.
No, I mean they teasing this. This would be the biggest Sansa season you've ever seen. You've never seen her character like this before. We've been hearing this for so long. She's the least interesting character in the show, so you can't keep telling me it's gonna get great for her every season. So you can't say The Walking Dead. Well, this ending kind of sucked, but next
You're
season,
wrong, Corey. Walking Dead is better than everything.
No, like, the ending may have sucked, but next season, you'll understand why. It's going to be bigger. You've never seen anything like it. Tune in.
I really think that people are saying that it sucked, they're blowing it out of proportion because it wasn't really a bad ending. It was really well done, and they really make Negan seem like... powerful badass and they don't kill someone, they don't show who they kill.
I was disappointed to not find out because I'm waiting and waiting now. I don't.
More comic book readers are disappointed or people that have read spoilers than people who actually just watched the show.
But I'm once the disappointment worn off and I watched Talking Dead, and I'm not upset at all. I don't want to know. I'll wait till next season as long as I'm alive.
I was on my computer and not interested in watching the show back and forth. But when Negan came on, I'm at the edge of my seat watching for 10 minutes, like, oh shit. And then, are you fucking kidding me?
That's what always happens though in Walking Dead.
Like, I was like, you fucking assholes.
They did it in the previous season too, when they get to the Alexandria and, they have that big fight and Rick's like, they're about to kill Daryl, I think, and they're like, "Oh, what's gonna happen? Big cliffhanger."
I don't think everybody's disliked it. I think it's honestly split.
At least Game of Thrones had the courage to show us Jon Snow getting killed before the season ended.
Well, that's Game of Thrones.
But is he dead?
That's Game of Thrones.
Yeah, well, at least the show Glenn gets head bashed in. Like, well, is he dead?
Yeah, but if his head gets bashed in that bad, he's gonna be dead.
Yeah, but what if there's a witch?
God damn it.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen in The Walking Dead. Just watch next season. This new whole storyline is going to blow you away.
Rick gets his head bashed in and then, kills Negan with no head.
This is a good segue.
I think it's a cop-out because they couldn't decide who to kill yet. You
know what sucks?
It's like, all right, guys, who wants the least amount of money? Whoever asks for the most, you're getting fucking cut from the show.
Do you think the person that dies at the end knows? Do you think the cast knows?
No.
Or do you think one person knows?
I don't think
nobody knows.
I don't think they filmed the actual death yet. So
I don't think so either. But
I think the only person that knows is the producers, and they're not saying shit until they actually shoot the.
But what sucks about that?
I bet you they'll film like 4 different.
As an actor, you have to turn down potential jobs because.
What are these people going to do? Be Martha Wayne?
If it was fucking Rick. I mean, just say, for argument's sake, it's Rick. He could go get work at this point. Daryl could go get work at this point.
They probably all have, what's it called? When you get terminated and your salary gets adjusted for it. Like, they're probably paid...
Prorated?
Yeah, they're probably paid salary for a certain amount of time, even if their character gets killed
What's
off.
crazy is the guy that plays Sheldon on Big Bang Theory makes like $27 million a year off that show.
That show's
but
a piece of shit.
I like the show. Actually, it's gotten really bad, but I used to like it a lot.
All right.
But Rick only makes $90,000 an episode.
Yeah, it's.
I don't
It's the
think
station.
that's a problem. I think that The Walking Dead does an amazing job of making every character just. Every person is invested in a different character.
That's true.
And multiple people will like different characters, and their character growth is really good compared to a show.
Yes, and I agree with that.
Like, 4 characters that are the main
7 at this point.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is they have comparable viewing numbers.
I bet you Sheldon makes more than all the actors put together in The Walking Dead.
Probably.
How much does Carl make an episode?
Yeah.
Give him lunch money.
But there's so many people who's like, Carl's my favorite character.
And you can't argue for more pay because once you
Who
do
the hell
this,
you
fucking
say?
backs you off.
What Carl?
Carl's
Really?
gone.
I love Carl.
Carl's gone.
I like the actor. I think
The whole fight with the
kid-
guy in the garage, he was kicking that guy's ass.
Yeah, I really like. I think the kid does
Chandler
an excellent
Riggs.
job.
In the beginning, he was terrible. Season 2, get back in the fucking house. Why is Carl always gone?
I'm getting shot all the time.
Yeah. Now he's a bona fide part of the group. He contributes.
But I really think for a kid actor, he's done a good job throughout the whole series.
I know all the scenes he's in with,
He's
like, with the little girl. Oh yeah, I was like, I don't care about your little storyline.
Like
Get back to the main storyline.
Semi-love interest.
Yeah.
Young love.
Let me lock you in a closet, dude, right here.
You know what was a great episode that some people didn't like, and it's the people that are like, no action, is the fucking episode with Lenny James Morgan.
Yeah.
When he came back, like...
When he was nuts, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he came back from being nuts.
Oh,
The episode that was
okay.
just on him.
Yeah.
I love that episode.
What about the Michonne did steal the
That was
protein
good.
bar.
That was good. I like that.
That was a great cutback.
When he came back, he was like, "You stole my last peanut butter protein bar."
Yeah.
That's fine.
But before we were talking about Game of Thrones, it was a good segue because I'm gonna get shit for this because I've already told him.
Oh no.
I've already told him.
Yeah, I don't like this.
And he doesn't like it.
I can see why he might have dipped his opinion.
Why my opinion no longer matters.
No, yeah, go on.
Daredevil is my favorite show that's currently going. Period.
Really?
I like it more than Walking Dead, which is a lot for me to say, and I like it more than Game of Thrones. I'm not saying it is a better show than Game of Thrones.
Season per season, kind of.
I'm not saying it's a better show. I'm just saying for me, I don't know what it is about the characters, about how they interact, and how it's filmed. But Daredevil is my favorite show right now.
It's really good, and they've made a lot of people like Daredevil that just generally are like aren't turned on to the fact that he's a blind dude, fighting crime. And
He's
they
Marvel's
do
Batman.
a lot of things well. Who's the actor that plays him?
Charlie Cox.
He is great,
Can't say that on the air.
and he's got that blind stare done so good. It makes it's great. I really like it.
He can see right through you.
My favorite
blind
show
jokes.
right now is Black Sails, and I know you guys don't watch Black Sails.
I was going to when it first came on.
The first season is hard to get through. The second season is the best season of any show I've ever seen. It's really well done. It all ties together. It's an excellent show. The third season has been great. The characters get darker and darker, and the show is...
Is that on Stars?
It is on Stars, yes.
I will watch it when I get Stars next year. Is Ash vs. the Evil Dead on Stars?
Yes.
Then next year I will watch it. When Ash.
Ash
I
comes
only
out.
have Stars.
Ash was good too.
When Ash vs. Evil Dead is on. I only have HBO when Game of Thrones is on, and now I have to get Cinemax in June because Outcast is on it, which is Robert Kirkman's one of his other books.
Ah.
What a life.
I get pay channels whatever I want, just cancel them.
That's the way to go.
But
now with binge watching.
I do love what they've... And I've never been a huge Daredevil fan. I have read, I don't know, maybe 50, 60 to 70 books. There was a short run that I really liked. I can't remember.
Not a short run at all. 60, 70 issues.
Well, when I've said I've read like 300, 400, 500
Yeah.
issues of Spider-Man, 156 issues of Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I mean...
30 issues isn't like...
Yeah.
It's a handful.
You said 70.
Well, whatever. If I've read 70, that's still a short run. There was a run a couple years ago that I really liked. I read it for probably 3 or 4 years, and then I stopped. I cut my pull list down.
Man, I wish Daredevil had some more interesting enemies, though.
That's
He does have
true.
Fucking shit bag to grab from for villains.
D'Onofrio as Fisk has been. I didn't know he was going to be in the second season at all.
Fisk, excellent character.
When he lost his shit in the fucking interrogation room when he said he was going to go after Vanessa, he was like, "Grah!" smashing his head on the. He wasn't even ready for that.
Yeah.
Back to the comics. I mean, not comics, but the show I used to watch when I was a kid, the Spider-Man show.
The animated cartoon?
With Kingpin. Kingpin's always been one of my favorite characters. And he, even when Michael Clark Douglas does Kingpin, I really love Kingpin.
Yeah.
And I thought that he did a great job, but then this guy playing Fisk does an amazing job and just knocks it out of the park. Steals the show from even the Punisher, which you're like, how can it get any better?
I watched 45 minutes of the Daredevil movie the other day. It is so bad. I didn't remember it being that bad. It's so terrible.
But if you go back and watch any old, watch some of the old Batman movies.
Cheesy, not bad. I watched the original Batman the other day. It's so weird, but it's not Daredevil bad. But
it's hard to it's hard to sell stuff, and the marketing and the art and how they shoot the picture is all based on the time that you're in.
Yeah. But Princess Bride holds up over everything.
I had a Batman
it's all right.
logic thing that there's a Batman logic
you
thing
can join
that Daredevil has. The police are so fucking incompetent, especially the last episode of Daredevil. What the hell? Two cops get killed. And they surround a building, and then they have an invisible standoff for 30 minutes. It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Like, what the fuck?
Ninja fighting?
The one time they don't call them SWAT team, if it's Daredevil running away, they'll call them the fucking SWAT team, get helicopters. There was nothing. The cops just stood downstairs.
I think I like the show so much that I overlook some of the flaws that it does.
But I mean, those are logic flaws. I mean, every show has those. And when you're doing ninjas and shit, you can't be like, the fucking...
raising people from the dead and a blind guy with superpowers.
You can't even hear walk around.
In the first half of the season, though, and they have the police hunting the Punisher, and they get cop cars, hundreds of them all involved, and at the end, for them, they're just like, the Punisher's here, Daredevil's here, ninjas are here, cops are down, let's get 5 cops and surround the place, and let them... have it out. I was like, oh, you motherfucker. Even Stick walks through the crime scene, decapitates somebody, and walks away. Like, these cops, you can see the cops in the background.
Yeah,
he just decapitated somebody.
I think that's the thing, though, that they're supposed to be incompetent.
It's so bad.
Is why the city needs people like Daredevil.
Why do they promote that cop, that black guy, if he's not going to do anything?
It's the same reason why stormtroopers don't hit anything.
Yeah, I know.
Back to Kingpin just for a split second. Because I have to say this, Amazing Spider-Man number 50, which is the first appearance of Kingpin, is one of my grails. Like, I don't own that book, and I've always wanted to buy it. It's not that expensive. It's like a good copy is like $500.
Yeah.
But
that's your dream?
That's one of my books. It's got the iconic cover. It's like I'm Spider-Man No More, where Peter Parker's walking away and Spider-Man's in the big red.
Yeah.
And it's like, I love that cover. I've always wanted it.
I'm excited for them to put more attention on Fisk in future seasons.
Yeah, he's going to be back next season. He's going to be out.
And he's going to be better than ever because he's actually going to... They haven't really said Kingpin yet. They haven't really done any of that. But then in this, the little bit that he's in, they drop the Kingpin line. They say that other guy is the Kingpin of the prison. And then Fisk becomes
he inherits the title
of the prison.
Yeah.
And I like how the Punisher, next time we meet, I'll fucking kill you. It's like, I count on it.
That scene when he gets locked in with all those fucking inmates and he's like, sorry, you were blah, 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 blah. and all those inmates are walking at him. What?
You've done your job.
Holy shit.
Thanks.
That was incredible. John Bernthal
was
so good.
That was my favorite fight scene. I thought nothing would top the
hallway fight scene?
The gang fight scene,
The one in the staircases?
The motorcycle club.
They have to have the key. Every Daredevil season, I'm calling it, is going to have that key hallway fight scene.
It has to, yeah. And there was a hallway in the first one, and it was great.
It was great.
And the staircase in this one, they really ramped it up.
But when the Punisher's fucking stabbing people left and right.
Yeah, that was with the prison shank.
One of the things I love, too, is I was waiting for it all season. I'm like, when are his fucking bars going to have the rope in the middle of them with the...
Yeah.
And at the end...
slowly but surely becoming... I like how Elektra got her outfit. And...
Yeah, it's...
You like that?
I wish I'd freaking protected her more, but I like how she inherited it at the same time.
A lot of people hate everything about Elektra and hate why she's in the show and just disagree with spending any amount of time on that character compared to the Punisher.
I liked her. One thing I hated, absolutely, it made no fucking sense. That she is, what do they call it? The Black Flag?
Sky?
Black Sky.
Black Sky. And, like, that's something that's like, you can take all the stories, like, we're supposed to understand. Oh, she's the Black Sky.
Like, they didn't explain that, or the big hole, or...
It fucking made no sense, and she was like, oh, now you can be on our side, because we told you you're the Black Sky. It's like,
kind of like...
why the fuck would that matter to anything? That makes no sense.
Their version of Batman's Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, and then...
In that secret society.
In the flashback when she's a kid, she kills somebody, and then the black guy there who was with Stick is like, you know what she is. We have to kill her. How do you know that? Was it a prophecy where a young child will slit somebody's throat when they come at her with a knife?
Well, I think they captured her, and that was the whole thing, is that Stick was protecting her, and that he knew what she was, and they captured her,
but the black guy
and they're trying to use her as a weapon against them.
Like Stick knew it, but...
Stick was great, by the way.
They knew it because she killed another kid. And I was like, what the hell kind of prophecy, a lot of kids may kill other kids in other countries.
You know who had a few badass moments in this season? As much as I don't like the butting heads and wham, 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 what are we going to do? Because Foggy had some badass moments in the courtroom.
I know, pretty awesome in general in that show. He steals just enough of the screen to where you like him, and he's enjoyable.
But he doesn't overdo it.
Lines. But yeah, he doesn't steal the show.
I have no problem with Foggy. I had a problem with the court
scenes. Who cares?
Okay, when I hear this is 95% of it, but when I hear, oh my God, Matt, we have 72 murder charges, 14 counts of extortion, blah blah blah.
The DA was rushing the court case,
and
Corey.
The DA rushed through, and the trial starts next week, Matt.
Well, you know that shit would take like 3 years to go to trial.
After you watch Making a Murderer, and it's like one murder.
Oh my God, don't get me started on that.
10 hours.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched most of
it.
But
so watching that, it was like, this guy's 72 murder charges. Court case starts next week. Be there, be square. It's like,
yeah, but I mean, do you really want to watch
no
fucking how they did in The Walking Dead, where they're handing off their guns for the next shift, and you watch them do it like 5 times, and you're like, oh, it's been like fucking a while. That's like their time cue.
Maybe next time, Corey, they'll just have the fast motion of the sun and the moon coming up in the sky, so you can get your
they'll
time.
Have Matt Murdock walking around the street, tapping the ground, and just going around the block 100 times.
I wanted a montage of them doing their court casework for a few months, and him and Elektra doing stuff on the side, or like an automatic skip in time.
It's hard to move the story, though.
Or the Punisher escaping before then. Or the whole Punisher thing in prison could have been him in prison. Like, he has to go to prison before the trial. Here's the reason why. And all that could have happened then.
Do you like the little tie-ins, with the end of Jessica Jones? Did you watch Jessica Jones?
I did.
The end of Jessica Jones had Rosario Dawson, and the end of this had Carrie-Anne Moss?
Yeah, I love that.
The little tie-ins. Because eventually they're making, the Defenders?
Yeah. That's so cool.
Would you... Because next one is September 30th is Luke Cage. Which is cool. He was great.
Did you see the cast for Iron Fist?
I saw the Night of Flowers or whatever.
I've seen one cast.
Loras Tyrell from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Robert told me that.
But I want a Punisher series.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that they would do that. And,
he's a good side character
on Kevin Smith's YouTube show, he had...
We don't advertise other people's podcasts and show. I'm just kidding.
Well, he had one of the artists for one of the Punisher series, or she did work with the Punisher, and she was talking about John Bernthal representing the character, and she thought he did an excellent job. But, wow, I completely forgot where I was going with that.
Excellent.
We'll just cut to it.
All right.
Now you forgot. Well, it'd be kind of cool if they did the thing like they did with Samuel L. Jackson, where he was the representation of.
I remember.
Did I get it? Was that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, she was saying that he's better as a sideline character and better. They don't know if he'd be able to hold his own show,
but then
and
he would have
to be interesting and also have a storyline that isn't just him going around killing people.
I'm okay with that, but he could have his own side. I mean, there'd be side people in his show.
Yeah.
But how would you do that?
I
could see
that. They made
that.
him all lovey-dovey and, gave him a heart in Daredevil. And, they could develop the character that way. But then, if they do that, are they taking away from who the Punisher actually is?
I like in the show, the Punisher didn't become a little wuss. He took the murder at the end.
Yeah, he wrecked house the whole show.
And you think that he's being like this good guy when he takes her out for coffee and
he was just
listening
using her as
to her
bait.
feelings.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "You're bait, bitch."
Whole plot. I have a little issues which we'll get to. I mean, but what do they call him? The armor.
The blacksmith.
Blacksmith. The
Was it the colonel? Was it not the colonel?
It just kind of dissipated real fast.
It was 100% the colonel.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But it just it was such a.
I'm assuming.
Who is he? Who is he? And it's like, oh, well, he was the colonel the whole time.
I'm assuming you're gonna get more of what happened and what's going on off of that disc. But what is that disc? Is that gonna be on the next season of Daredevil? Is it gonna be his own show? Where are we gonna find out more about?
Didn't they kill him?
A new list of targets.
Yeah, they killed him, but he punched that picture that had the disc. It said Micro on it at the end.
He'd probably go hunt down everybody in his old organization or something.
Because it looks like he wanted to recruit his old team to smuggle drugs, and he did with the one guy.
Yeah,
but not with
Frank. That one guy. Who was he on the ship? Because I mean, they showed the flashback. They showed him in the zipper bag.
Yeah.
Was he the one at the end who said, "Just kill me, just kill me"?
No, he was. I don't think so.
Because when the Punisher recognized him, if he had been the one who
he was shouting from the docks at one point. I know he said that. Hey, Frank.
Yeah.
Oh, he was one of the one who came over.
Who got killed by the explosion.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
The completely ridiculous explosion.
The flip with that colonel was like that should have been like 20 minutes longer. Just kind of be like, okay, now I'm evil. Let's take a drive. Now I'm dying, and now I'm dead. Like,
well, I think
they expedited that storyline.
Yeah, they're trying to get the character that realizes that she's onto him when in fact she wasn't.
Yeah.
And then he freaks out and kind of like, oh, I have to kill her now.
If they had like one more episode, I could see that stretching into he abducts her, takes her somewhere, and then Punisher rescuing her. Which would been...
While we were watching it, I was like, oh man, it's cool. This guy gets to be a good guy for once because he's never a good guy. And then, no, fuck, he turned around. I was like, God damn it. Because we all recognize that actor. You've seen him in 100 things. SpongeBob.
He's a good guy in
Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, he was in...
He's an asshole.
He's boot camp instructor.
Yeah. But he gets the bug at the end.
Yeah, it's the brain bug.
Yeah. So I had some other logic issues with the show. This is my main criticism because the show is awesome. I mean, the fucking fights are awesome.
Yeah, they're very well choreographed.
Except that fucking spin kick that he does.
The best character in any of the Marvel TV shows so far has still been Kilgrave.
Yeah, I loved Kilgrave.
He was really good. I think the actor really
sold it. With David Tennant? I don't watch Doctor Who.
It would have been funny if they combined them and Daredevil would have to do what Kilgrave says a mile away.
He's got super hearing.
Yeah. I mean, tight. I like the idea of ninjas in a way.
Oh my god.
Except that why did they have to be ninjas? It's like the Foot Clan in Teenage Mutant Ninja. Why don't they give them guns? If they all had guns, they all would have killed Daredevil. So he's like, he can't hear him breathing. He can't hear anything except their swords at first.
He could hear the
if they all had
trigger click, man.
If they all had bow and arrows, like he and him in that house. If they all had bow and arrows just sitting there.
That fight with his arrow and his
that was awesome.
That was pretty cool when he got shot.
If they really wanted to kill him, they didn't go about it in a very good way.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to make them seem like they're deadly and it's a clan.
Yeah, it's the Foot. I know.
Without
the foot, the hand, the face.
I like the end where he's deflecting arrows. I was like, they did a horrible job of trying to kill him. When Nobu took out his freaking chain with his knife, I was like, that was one of the best fights from season 1. Also, I was like, that guy's a motherfucking badass.
Nobu was awesome in this season too.
He wasn't as awesome as he should.
He didn't have as long a fight scene.
He got his ass kicked like 3 times.
But have they? So they announced Luke Cage on September 30th, and they've said that they're making Defenders and Iron Fist, but have they announced anything else? Anything else going on? Is there a Jessica Jones season 2?
I'm pretty sure it got picked up for season 2.
You have to assume that there is.
They don't want to get excited about something before the next one.
You have to assume there is, just because the crazy guy, the crazy boyfriend guy with the pills in Jessica Jones, where's he?
What's his story going to be?
I am completely in the dark with that. I've never read an Alias book or a Jessica Jones thing, other than when New Avengers came out after some different things, and Luke Cage was part of it, and she was there.
Yeah, right. That'll all be cool. I want to see it tied together. That'd be really cool. All these side characters.
I'm just excited for Iron Fist. I can't wait for that.
That was James's favorite for a long time. Well, Iron Fist and Daredevil.
So what do you think about Elektra dying? You all seen it coming.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they would have used that character any more than they already had, I would throw up. But the fact that they,
I like.
All right, so my main
Did you
problem.
really?
I did.
I was 50-50. Sometimes I was just like, what are you doing? And sometimes I was like, oh, that's...
I like that she murdered fools, and she just didn't seem stupid to me like a lot of characters.
I like that they get each other, and they get each other, and that's the only reason they can understand each other.
The moment at the end, I really liked. And I was like, this is perfect setup for her to die. Love it.
That's kind of what I liked about her, is that she had like the espionage feel that you get from Black Widow. But she also has like an attachment to Matt Murdock, and you feel like they're really good together, but they're also really bad together.
Yeah.
And then you find out that everything was set up, and it kind of makes you feel really bad just how Matt Murdock's feeling.
Yeah.
And then the character progression gets out of control, and she picks up her iconic weapons off of a ninja.
I like how you got that.
And you're just like, all right, this is kind of how Elektra's supposed to be.
I like when she was stabbing people in the head.
And they have to, yeah. Well, it's awesome, but I mean, it's also, they kind of just threw it in there.
Yeah.
And
I like how the characters slowly becoming their archetype. Daredevil finally got his weapon. She got her katanas from some other random guy she killed.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, it's just Daredevil doesn't really have a good group of villains to pick from.
No, but
I mean, it wouldn't be unrealistic for them to create something for the show. Yeah. I mean, they've done it with other things. I mean,
was Nobu a character?
I don't know.
Nobu was badass. Give me more of that, or Madam.
Well, you can go far back as fucking Harley Quinn. She came from Batman the Animated Series. They made it for that. Now she's as big as Batman at this point.
Yeah,
I like the cameo of that Madam Mim character lady.
I hope
her name. But
I hope they do a Spider-Man.
But the fact that she's still in the show and she's still super
she never
smart,
left.
And she's smarter than Matt Murdock. Kind of like, if you haven't figured it out yet, Maddie, it's like.
Was she blind? No, she's painting.
No, but she had something with blind people.
She had blind people that weren't.
Yeah.
But and
she's a really cool behind the scenes villain that Matt Murdock really doesn't want to punish her because she's old and frail, but
it's like, soon your time is near.
Yeah.
But that was cool. There's something else.
But we're talking about Netflix series. I really hope they do a Spider-Man Netflix series.
There's no way.
It'd be a great way to redeem the character.
I agree with you 100%. There's no way.
No. Because of licensing issues. But if they did, that would be really awesome. That would be one of my favorite things that I want to see happen.
Spider-Man's my favorite. I mean,
I wouldn't really go see another Spider-Man movie.
You're gonna go see Civil War.
Well, yeah, because Robert Downey Jr. is awesome.
Corey and I worked together. We've talked about it on here before, but I took a half day that day for work. It is cheaper for me to take a half day and not find a babysitter while my kids are in school and go see it than to find a babysitter. And
this is the kind of work ethic I have to deal with.
Yeah. That's a great work ethic.
Right?
Yes.
I scheduled it. I'm not calling in sick.
I would take off at every blockbuster that comes out. You have to.
Star Wars and this.
Work smarter, not harder.
There you go.
Avengers, did you?
No.
You didn't do that for Avengers?
No, I took a vacation.
Guardians 2 you will.
Guardians, I did not. I took Parker to see it on the weekend one time because Katrina and Oliver were both moody.
When I first saw Guardians, I came in at the music scene where he's dancing around the chasm and playing the great song. And then I went back and watched it again when I got the Blu-ray, and the whole beginning of the movie is just crap to me now. Before him dancing.
It adds a little.
Oh, because of the mom.
Yeah, it was sad. Yeah. It was much sad. It was
I really don't think they needed it. I think they could have cut that. It doesn't really tie into anything.
Except for that he got parents.
But I got that from watching the movie without even having seen that.
There was that great reveal when he finally accepted his mom's death, basically, by opening it.
But and they're supposed to show his dad in the next one and blah, blah, blah.
We can't get into this.
Yeah, we need to wrap up soon.
All right.
Because I try to keep them around an hour now.
Yeah.
And if they're more, it takes me hours and hours to edit.
I like the Punisher showing up and saving Daredevil at the end. I wanted to add that. But he should have showed up earlier.
But I've got a sniper rifle across the street. Look at me, one shot.
But he had his costume. If he showed up earlier and fucking was picking off 80 of those ninjas, I'd have been much happier.
You know what you would hate? Did you see the little? I don't know if it's real, but they were. Every show on there has Easter eggs now.
Yeah.
When he came back to life or whatever, his heart rate on one of the monitors, when it skipped, it made a fucking skull in the.
Oh,
really?
That's cheesy.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a little cool.
How'd you guys feel about the outfits? Kind of the evolution of Daredevil outfit was cool, like you were saying.
I like that. I actually liked Elektra's, and I like the way that
Stick needs one.
I do like the just because a black T-shirt with a trench coat and a skull on it wouldn't work. That it's tactical gear.
Yeah,
that's.
I really liked it.
I like it.
One thing I didn't like, because I hear it so much. Oh, you've heard like Batman's and stuff, that Matt Murdock won't kill people. He's Batman, for
his mind he kills somebody at the end.
Right. And I do like that he finally, like the whole show is like he won't break his morals, and he actually does. Not like Batman where he'll save Heath Ledger at the end. In this one, he sees all these murders and then he kind of makes a compromise with Elektra, like, we'll kill this one person, or he says it to the Punisher, we'll kill the.
He says you can't come back from that.
The armor or whatever. The
blacksmith.
Yeah, that's him. We'll kill the blacksmith, just as one guy. I'm sure it'll be okay. And at the end, he assumed, Elektra died and he killed Nobu. And I was like, he's finally made the progression. I hope next season he starts killing people.
I don't think he will.
If he did, and he became Dark Daredevil, I think that would be awesome.
I don't think it makes sense. Dark Devil. I don't think it makes sense for the character.
That he's in a bad place, and that now he's not a lawyer in a way.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen.
He's just a vigilante.
Yeah. I really like the way they dance around actually saying Daredevil. Like the
Devil's of Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, and they have all these different words to market it better, which is really interesting. And how the Punisher calls him Red, which is also really good. Play between the two characters.
It's more realistic because you call, "Hey Daredevil, come over here."
There was a specific spot in the fact that it took what's the girl's name in the show?
Who, the lawyer?
Yeah, it took her that long to figure out. Like at the end,
I had a Clark Kent moment. I was like, "Are you fucking?" I thought she should have figured it out.
Yeah, you talked to him face to face.
When he rescued her the last time.
I totally forgot that even happened.
Yeah, but there's a point in the show, and I can't remember where it is, where you kind of realize
the Punisher
knows it's him.
When he woke up from the coma and he heard the voice.
Yeah.
And I was like, if he put that together and doesn't say anything to anybody, I think that's freaking awesome.
Which they didn't, and you kind of think that he knows, but then he kind of doesn't.
He's like,
know.
I know that voice.
And you kind of want
you're a lawyer.
You kind of want him to say that he knows.
Yeah, but they don't.
But then it never happens.
I hope he shows up at his doorstep one day. It's like, I've known it's you
it's
for
a very Negan moment.
For years, Yeah.
But then
Daredevil better show than Walking
Dead. Would it really be
this season or overall?
If I had just had to put rank it like the story arcs, the acting, everything all together, I would choose the Daredevil over the Walking Dead. Both of them have awesome freaking moments. If I took the Walking Dead episode where they just murder everybody, that's up there. But that's
I agree.
my opinion.
They both have moments, but they both have bad moments.
Yeah.
I told Corey that I think that the last season of Game of Thrones wasn't that great. I think it was the weakest season.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's why I love Game of Thrones, but I feel like it was the weakest season.
I excused you saying what you said. Yeah. But a bad Game of Thrones season is not even compared to...
No.
Because they were fucking badass moments last Game of Thrones
a lot
season.
of the writing in the Game of Thrones season, like when they're in the jail and she's like, you need a bad girl.
But you want a bad pussy.
Yeah.
You want a good girl, but you need a bad pussy.
Yeah.
I like that. That's funny.
Oh my god.
No, but that... If we're going to that whole freaking trip down to freaking...
Yeah, we need to...
That should not have existed, by the way. So... And...
Trip down to what?
To Dorne.
We're not starting the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that should have been a whole season. Before we watch the next season, we should talk about like the old season.
Okay,
but
I'm down to do a pre Game of Thrones.
Oh, a 10 episode trip down to Dorne. That should not have existed.
Well, now we have a new rotating guest.
Yeah,
and we haven't used Travis yet either.
Does he watch these shows?
Yeah, he watches all these shows.
Travis, if you're listening.
Yeah, Travis, if you're listening, we need you to, we need you on the show. He listens to every single episode.
Well, you're gonna cut this.
So no, we're not cutting this. But we do have to wrap up because we're getting towards the end. That is another episode of 9 to 5 Nerds. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, and if you like it, write a good review. If you don't, fuck off. But that's 9 to 5 Nerds with Robert Swatha. That's me, Corey Urkel.
And that's me.
And Ben Hetzel.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, bye.